My Tinder horror story is very funny looking back. The girl comes over. She couldn't get there until 7:30. I had some pizza warming in the oven just in case she was hungry. For some stupid reason, I put the pizza in the box to warm in the oven. She wasn't hungry, so we jump right into making out. Clothes get strewn. We head back towards the bedroom. I go into the kitchen and turn the oven off, but leave the pizza in there. A few minutes later, I am going down on her and I hear a beeping. I lift up my head and say, "What was that?" She says, "I think it was a truck backing up." I hop up just to check in the oven. Without my glasses on, I had accidentally missed off by 1/8 of an inch and my STTY oven went to broil. The beeping was telling me it was preheated. I stupidly open the oven and smoke comes billowing out. Then the box bursts into flames. I am standing there but naked and I start yelling. Then she comes running in totally naked as I pull the box out thinking I am going to pour water on it. I set it on the stove and then she hits it with a dish towel. Sparks and burnt go all over my kitchen, but the box is still on fire. My sink is so full of dishes that I can't get the box in there. She yells bathtub, so I pick up a goddamn burning box and run to my bathroom over the carpet, my shower mat and past the shower curtain. The entire top of the pizza box was either in flames or charred and flaking off as I ran. Remember, we are both totally naked this whole time. So imagine a naked, screaming man running through his apartment with a burning pizza box in his hands. That was me. This was a date. I throw the box in the bathtub and turn the shower on. She was so super cool about it. She helped me clean everything up, and then we got dressed and just stood outside for a while. She could tell I was really freaked out, and kept reassuring me all was well. I still have burn marks in my bathtub and on my bathroom door.
Talked to a girl a few times. Set up a date. She calls me a couple hours before we're going to meet, saying she's busy doing something. She cancels. At about 11 p.m., I get a text message that just says, "Can you come over?" or something similar. Being a mix of lonely and bored, I said what the hell, closed my self-sympathy pizza box, and hopped in my car. Halfway through the drive, I get another text that says, "Can you give me some food?" Sure. She wants a 20-piece chicken McNugget with extra barbecue sauce. Very specific. Super weird, but fine. Munchies show up, and she seems maybe drunk or something, so I give her the food, and she insists I stay, and we watch TV. She's watching the movie Powder. If you haven't seen the movie, it's super not date-friendly. We make small talk, I have a beer. I'm not going to push anything because obviously the girl's got something going on, so I'm ready to bow out. The movie ends. She stands up and very bluntly says, "I'm going to bed. I don't know if I'm going to F you or not, but you can stay if you want." She was cute and I was eager, so why not see what happens? I hop in bed while she's in the bathroom. She comes into her bedroom, climbs on top of me, her hands on either side of my head. She leans in, I think she's going to start kissing my neck, and then I hear her start snoring. Very loudly. I'm dumbfounded. I lie there for a moment thinking about what I should do. This is interrupted by her ripping the hugest fart. Good night.
My first and only Tinder date. I started talking to a cute guy. We hit it off really well. We'll call him Greg. Greg lived in a town nearly an hour away, so we texted for about 2 weeks before we decided to meet due to schedules. During this time, Greg consistently attempted to wow with his food knowledge, often telling me about what meal he was cooking for him and his roommates each night. After several days of talking, he then asks me to come to his house so he would be able to cook for me. I oblige, figuring what's the worst that could happen. I've talked to him several times and felt okay about the whole situation. The day comes and we meet somewhere neutral and I follow him to his house, all the while him explaining how excited he is to cook for me. We arrive at his place, everything is going really great. He's exactly as I pictured him and his personality fits me perfect. Dinner time rolls around and he tells me he needs to go downstairs to begin prep. I become eager and say I'd love to help. He insists I stay on the couch and relax. We continue to talk across rooms and I can't see what's going on in the kitchen. He put something in the oven and says it will be ready in just a bit and that he made extra in case I was hungry. 15 minutes late, Greg leaps off the couch to a timer and runs to the kitchen. He brings sauces first, saying that they are the best part. He lays ketchup, ranch, and barbecue sauce on the table. I begin to get confused, wondering what he made, as he refused to tell me, announcing that he wanted to keep it a secret. Greg returns to the kitchen to retrieve the plates. He walks in and carries a turkey platter to the table. I gaze into what had to be no less than 3 bags of frozen fries he had displayed on a turkey platter for our dinner. He looks at me eagerly, awaiting my reaction for me to lose it. I begin uncontrollably laughing. His smile drops as I say, "This is great, thank you," assuming this was a gag meal and he had prepared dinner to follow. No, Greg invited me to dinner to cook me his specialty, frozen French fries. They were delicious fries. And the sauce was the best part.
I met this guy on Tinder and we had a couple really fun dates. I was pretty into him, so on our 3rd date, I decided I wanted to have sex with him. He took me out for a really nice date and then he invited me back to his place for a glass of wine. One thing led to another and we started making out on his couch, fully clothed. But this lasted forever. I was ready to go, if you know what I mean. I didn't want to make out the whole night. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and I took off all of my clothes. Then he sits up, still fully clothed, and looks at me, and says, "I can't have sex with you, I have a STD." Possibly most awkward moment of my life. I tried to be super nice about it, but I promptly got dressed and left.
I don't use Tinder. However, my roommate loves it, and she's brought back numerous visitors. Which is fine, except for the fact that the apartment is tiny and we share a room. And also the fact that my roommate doesn't really care what I end up seeing. And, as it turns out, most guys don't care about having another girl in the room either. Some take it as an opportunity for a threesome. My roommate is my Tinder nightmare.
I needed a date to pass over dinner with my friends. He wore a vest and a newsboy hat, then introduced himself with a bow and a hat flourish. The night only got worse from there. He refused to eat any of the food because things on the plate were touching, and wouldn't shut his mouth during the 12 minutes of Seder. When it came time for his train home, he purposely missed it so he could stay the night. Nope. After a movie with uncomfortable levels of hoverboob, I convinced my friend to come with me to drive him to the nearest train station. During the ride, he thought was the best time to tell me he was schizophrenic but didn't take medicine because it was the devil. He tried to hold my hand, saying that they were small, and made him feel like a pedophile. The night ended with him telling me he was going to SD on the subway and write my name in it. There was no second date.
Tinder date with a famous chef, where I was taken to a dive bar, where he promptly started talking about how famous he was. We drank and watched sports. He proceeded to tell me, "You're cute." And this eventually went to, "I am going to make you bleed." He then invited one of his friends to come along. I went outside and he came up to kiss me. I was drunk, so I kissed back. Eventually he proceeded to tell me how he was being charged with battering his ex-girlfriend, but he totally didn't do it. Eventually, when it came time to pay the bill, he lost his wallet. Of course I get stuck with it. "I'll pay you back." Then he leaned up against me. I thought he was trying to kiss me again, but I looked down and he was peeing on me. In the street. Peeing. On. Me. I swiftly, being too inebriated to drive, went and got myself a hotel room and a hot shower. Never again.